by Daniel Johnston. I guess. Right, so I still need to shave. No, I'm doing this anyway because I find these little moments of idle time, and I know I posted a video where I was talking about how I was getting burned out on doing this, but I find idle time and it's like, well, fuck it, I'll do another one. Okay, and I wrote down in my notebook here a backstory to this one. Okay, I'll read what I wrote here. Okay. On the day that the incident that inspired me to write Alice in Chains Would occurred, something else happened that lyrics in a song were about. I had gone upstairs to be by myself and think for a whole minute undistracted, and for whatever reason the place I picked to hide out in was the closet of my sister's bedroom, because dresses hung there and I could be hidden behind them, I figured. I've written about this before, but I have to do this all over again now because those notebooks were stolen by the FBI. Anyway, there I was, reflecting on my thoughts when I noticed a stray thread on one of the dresses, so I pulled it and realized that if I kept pulling it, it would pull the fabric of the dress apart. So I lit a match and burned more of the dress than I intended to, then just left it there like that. But I spent a long time trying to figure out what I was going to say if it was found, and I was asked about it. Before I finally settled at just telling the truth, I went through all kinds of ideas to lie about it, but all of them had major logic flaws that would then make me laugh hysterically when they occurred to me. And when I was asked by my sisters what the hell I was laughing at, I said it was a dumb joke in my head that I made with a punchline that made no sense, like the kind of jokes that Pippi Longstocking tells. At that time, I was attending the Orthodox Christian private elementary school, Chicago Christian Academy, which showed us Pippi Longstocking so they could use it as a medium for discussing everything that was wrong with it and teaching us the moral of turning our back on silly things. That's literally how they worded it verbatim, and that quote came directly from my third grade teacher, Mrs. Pauline Johns, aka Miss Johns or Mrs. Johns. I couldn't get a fix back then on which it was supposed to be and still don't know the difference. As I'm writing this, does one mean it's a married woman? Diaper. I'll edit that later. Anyway, the title theme comes from a much more extensive reflection on the experience of feeling the warmth of the sun while sitting outside alone on a perfect weather day eating a mango, when I was called out of the zone by my father and his wife for the purpose of being a target for harassment and self-gratification, and it occurred to me that a pure and simple experience was something they would never be able to afford, no matter how hard they worked and no matter how much money they saved up for it. Stop. Hold on. Before I continue reading, this memory is surfacing. What exactly was going on that day? I was sitting outside by myself, and there was nobody around me. I had a mango, and I was eating it, and I was like munching it like raw, like I wasn't cutting it. I was just like biting it and eating it, right? And it was all over my face, and I was like sitting there chewing on it. It was like delicious, right? And it was a beautiful day, and I was in a good mood, and I'm like eating the mango like and then like I was seen doing that like by my dad or whatever, and he comes around and is like, oh, you're enjoying that too much, and I was like, okay, and then he starts going off about something telling me about some kind of issue he's having that had nothing to do with me. And it's like calling me out, like calling me down into a lower vibrational rate. And I was like really annoyed, and I was like not saying anything, but he could see that I was like annoyed, and he was like getting his jollies, on it by like, and his wife too. They're both like getting their jollies by harassing me and pulling me out of my good mood, just so that they could harass me for just complete self-gratification. It wasn't anything that I was doing wrong. So, that motivated me to write this song, The Sun Shines Down on Me by Daniel Johnston, right? Anyway, I had almost forgotten about Daniel Johnston. I'm reading again. I had almost forgotten about Daniel Johnston again. I have no idea how he came into possession of my work, but I suspect it had something to do with Gibby Haynes. I became a fan of Johnston in the year 1993. Before that year, I wasn't really aware of his existence, and in September of last year, he died. Okay, I'm remembering now, I met Gibby Haynes back then in like 1984. I met him like he, for some reason, was in Chicago, and he was telling me that he was from Texas or something like that, and he was like, he knew Daniel Johnston, and I gave him this song, and I guess that's how it happened. I had it written on a piece of paper, and I handed it to him, and he's like, oh, this is for Daniel Johnston. I wrote his name on it because he was telling me about Daniel Johnston, so I wrote Daniel Johnston's name on it, and I handed it to him. I was like, here, give that to Daniel Johnston. I'm remembering that now, how that happened. Okay, I don't know at the moment I'm writing here if there are other Johnston songs that are actually mine. There's a possibility that the famous Daniel Johnston Hi, How Are You Frog is actually a copy of something I drew when I wrote this song, or another one on the same piece of paper, and Johnston's name was written on it instead of my own, as I would do. Looks like I have an 8-minute and 4-second timer on this front-facing camera. So it's crawling up to that point. So I'm going to go ahead and close this book. I have nothing else written on that song title, and nothing else is coming to mind about it at the moment. So I will extend on that if anything else comes to me. But there it is, and this has been the backstory to The Sun Shines Down on Me by Daniel Johnston on Idle Arrangement. Okay, so now I'm remembering more of the chronology. Okay, I'm up in this closet, and I did this thing with the fucking lighter, the match, or whatever it was I had. I think it was a match. Because, like, my dad owned a restaurant, and there was, like, books of matches, like, these little match books that had this restaurant logo on them and stuff. Anyway, I came, after I burned the freaking dress and shit, like, I started walking, like, I left the room, and I started walking downstairs, and I'm, like, in my head, trying to figure out what I'm gonna say if somebody sees the shit, and like, how I'm gonna explain it and shit. Well, anyway, I went and got a piece of paper and a pencil to write, my thoughts on the paper. And what came to me, hold on, somebody came. Sorry, somebody came by. Guess I shaved my mustache off. I'm doing the Amish thing again. I'm gonna do beard only and no mustache hair. Let's see how that flies around here. I tried that in Indiana because, like, Indiana's all Amish. It's an insult. If you're not Amish and you do this, it's an insult, because this beard and no mustache thing, that's how the Amish identify married men. And if you have a mustache, wait. How'd that go again? If you don't have a beard, then you're single, I guess, or you don't have. If you have a mustache but no beard, you're single. But if you have a beard and no mustache, then you're married. Something like that. Anyway, yeah, somebody came over and I had to pay them for some work on my drum. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, I came downstairs. My sisters were hanging out because I was upstairs, and I was just getting, time to myself, trying to like think and stuff. Anyway, I came back down and I'm looking for a piece of paper and a pen so I could write down my thoughts, right? And what came to me was this song, so I wrote it down. I wrote words to the song. I wrote what were they again? I'm getting closer to the facts. I've turned my back on silly things. I looked up the lyrics on Google, and these lyric, archive websites that a lot of times they have the lyrics wrong. I turned my back on silly things, not on silly dreams, is what I saw that they had logged on silly dreams. No, I've turned my back on silly things, and then what was the next line? I'm walking down that lonely road, and my heavy load, I didn't bother to bring it, and the sun shines down on me. I feel like I deserve it, and the sun shines down. Then it goes into I'm hiding out where you can't see, behind the wall in the back of the room. I'm crawling slowly through the dark and feeling for a punchline, and the sun shines down on me. I feel like I have to earn it, and the sun shines down. And then the third verse, there's only 3 verses. The third verse was I'm walking down that empty road, but it ain't empty now because I'm on it. And then I'm getting closer to the hope that I can carry and take home with me. And the sun shines down on me. I want to feel like I deserve it. That might be the second line. I switched with the third line, actually. I might have said that wrong. Because the way I wrote it was to degrade my feelings about whether I deserve the sun to shine on me, Because I was thinking on behalf of my dad at the same time, and I was kind of writing for him too, Don't you want this is trying to figure out where he went downhill, psychologically, his thought process, So that was the thought pattern delineated, of that song. And then what the fuck did I do with it? I showed it to my sisters or something like that, and then I don't know who I gave it to. I go, oh yeah, Gibby Haynes came over because he was apparently across the fucking alley. He was staying in the neighborhood, visiting a relative or something. And he came over to our place because he saw me and my sisters walking down the sidewalk, and he was recognized me, I guess from school or something, because I had given him a song. I had already given him a song, and he came and was fucking with us and shit. And he kicked my fucking ass, actually, in the fucking, I remember now, he kicked my ass in the fucking yard, because he was trying to tell me, oh, you're a fucking wimp, look what I'm doing, I'm kicking your ass in front of your sister. And I was like, well, what's the fucking point of this? He's like, why don't you fight back? And I was like, well, what's the point of that? You know? And then finally, after he was just all fed up, you know, like, I like pulled the, I'm like all spun from having my ass kicked, I fucking pulled the song out of my back pocket and I handed it to him. Because I remember he had something in a conversation came up about how he's bragging about how he's a guitar player and he knows, you know, how to get by in life and this and that. And I know this, you know, I know all these people, I know musicians and that. And he's trying to freaking school me, like, how are you gonna get by in life if you're such a fucking wimp and this and that? And I was like, I pulled a fucking song out of my back pocket and I handed it to him. I was like, that's for Daniel Johnston. Give that to Daniel Johnston, you know. Oh, I will, you know. And he's some, you know, like some jerk, you know, kid that thought he was like trying to be my coach or whatever, you know, my life coach or whatever. And I was just like shrugging it off, like, dude, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You know, just take the fucking song, you know. You know, and I'm not here to be a fucking macho man. I'm a fucking songwriter. You know, and I'm not gonna get anything out of this fucking shit. I'm fucking 9, and like by the time I'm old enough to fucking like be in a position to defend my fucking property and my identity and shit, like it's not gonna fucking matter anymore. You know, anyway. So, you know. Just to put this in fucking perspective, you know. You know, I'm not allowed to fucking defend myself here in this place. So if you think you got something to fucking say about that or something you can do about that, then, you know, good fucking luck, you know. But anyway, yeah, that was my memory of that experience. That was interesting. I mean, I never saw him again after that. Like, I never met him again later in life or anything like that. I met people that knew him and stuff in Austin and Texas. Somebody came up to me and was trying to tell me he was in the neighborhood, and he's like, no, this is his hometown, and yeah, I forgot what else the dude was trying to tell me. I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember anymore. But it doesn't really matter. Like, I currently know somebody that knows this other person that was in that band, the Butthole Surfers. But I don't know how well they know him, but they just mentioned it, you know. So I don't know, you know, what use that information is. Like, what am I gonna do with that information? You know, like go and try and tell him that, you know, what, that he owes me money. I mean, anyway, that was the backstory to The Sun Shines Down on Me by Daniel Johnston.